Good morning and welcome to San Diego People. I'm Alan Denton. It's an organization that's been celebrating 100 years of service to our community. The Rotary Clubs of San Diego and Imperial Counties is in the midst of its centennial celebration. Rotary is a worldwide organization with almost 1.3 million business, professional, and community leaders, all dedicated to the service of others. Today on San Diego People, we'll talk to the president-elect of the San Diego Rotary Club 33 about what lies ahead for the oldest club in San Diego. But joining me right now to talk more about the legacy of the Rotary and how it's grown over the years is Larry Sundram, the district governor for Rotary San Diego Imperial Counties. Thanks for being with us today, Larry.
Thank you for asking.
100 years. Let's begin by looking back at the San Diego Club, those early days. Who founded the club? How many members were there at that time in 1911?
Well, there was a young fellow named Ernie Shields, and he had actually tried to join the Chicago Club, which started in 1905. And a variety of things made it impossible to do. He was in the construction business. He moved down to San Diego and just kept thinking about that. And eventually he got 10 friends in the basement of what is now the U.S. Grant Hotel. And together they petitioned to get a charter from Rotary International.
Well, that was a great place to start at the U.S. Grant Hotel back in that day, a perfect spot for
Yes, it was.
Like that.
And as time went by in the few years, many of the names that we might remember that we see around San Diego were all members of this great club. Spreckles,
right?
Kettner,
some of the big
Scripps,
names of San Diego at the time.
All the movers and shakers were part of the Rotary Club.
Yeah, and they had a huge impact on the community through that club, didn't they?
Almost all the great things that we take for granted, backcountry roads, our waterfront, some of our parks, our educational institutions, all were in some ways sponsored and developed by the great people in that club.
It's amazing that and all that came out of the Rotary Club, all these individuals, these business people with the money and the ties to the community that were able to get things done and move the community ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You got to wonder where we would be without those people and the Rotary Club at the time.
And they made a big impact on the backcountry. Things like Palomar College, Brengle Terrace Park in Vista, clubs in Calexico, and the Imperial County all came out of these far-sighted people that San Diego was fortunate to have.
So they had the vision to look ahead, to start these other clubs in surrounding counties as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the bicentennial celebration that was held this past November.
Well,
It was a huge event. Yeah.
It was a great event. And November 3rd is the 100th anniversary of Rotary in San Diego. And all our 63 clubs, you know, we kind of look at them as our great-great-great-granddaddy. And they all kind of came by to celebrate the granddaddy's birthday. And we had our oldest Rotarian, who was almost 100 years old, 99.
Still active in the club?
Still active, not in the Rotary Club of San Diego, but in the Vista Club.
In the Vista Club.
So he was there, and we had the youngest Rotarian, someone who was barely 21 years old, and we had both of them cut a birthday cake. So it was a great fun event.
I can imagine. Now, how has the club grown over the years? As you said, it's expanded into other counties, but membership-wise, what are you seeing?
Rotary in San Diego and Imperial County are about 3,400 Rotarians. San Diego Rotary Club itself has about a little over 500, and it's the largest, I think it's the 5th largest club in the world, certainly the largest one in this part of the world.
Now, we were talking before we started the program, and I didn't realize this. I was a member of Rotary back in the 80s in Kentucky at the time. And at that time, it was just a luncheon meeting. That was the traditional Rotary Club meeting time. Now it's entirely different, and I had no idea.
It's completely different. We have clubs that meet at breakfast, 7 o'clock in the morning. You can be back at your desk at 8:30. We have clubs that meet at lunchtime, some in a traditional way, some in a less traditional way. We have clubs that meet over happy hour and dinner. And we even have online clubs. So people that are unable to make these meetings can join some of those. We're all about service, and we want to be accessible, make it easy for people to join us, regardless of when it's convenient for them.
So you really have no excuse. It's pretty much fitting to everyone's schedule.
Yes, it is. And as I said earlier, we certainly have older people, but we also have more and more younger people. There's probably no organization I know of in San Diego that has the breadth and diversity of Rotary. We have people from all professions, civic, nonprofit, profit-making, community activists, leaders of all, judges, school superintendents, police. So it's an extraordinarily diverse body of members a variety of ages and ethnicities.
You know, when you say that, most people may be mistaken, because when you think of Rotary, or years ago when you thought of Rotary, you would think that, okay, I have to own a business or I have to run a business in order to be in the club, but that's not necessarily the case.
It is absolutely not the case. Great if you own a business, but it's great if you're a community leader. It's great if you're a young person trying to get experience and learn from one of the owners of businesses that might be there. You need people, and what we rely on are people's expertise in different occupations to contribute to making this area a nicer area, and frankly, to making the world a better place.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine one of the reasons you expanded the various hours of Rotary Club was also to attract some of the younger folks to Rotary, right?
Yes, and if you're not sitting down at a big banquet meal, it doesn't cost you as much to belong to Rotary. So some clubs have dues as little as $10 a month, which is eminently possible for almost anyone. And if you choose to want to be with people who are more seasoned, you get the benefit of their experience and a chance to practice your own leadership skills.
You know, and I found too, by being in Rotary Club, it's amazing what you learn from people who've been in business a number of years, just in the brief conversations that you had at that time during the luncheon meetings.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was just, you know, it was a wealth of information. As district governor, you travel to all these clubs, several clubs, right?
Every district governor visits, in our case, 63 clubs at least once. Many of them visit them 2 and 3 times. You're on the road quite a bit. And in some ways, you are thanking them for the community service. You're being inspired by them. Some of the stuff that you see will bring tears to your eyes. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a club in Brawley putting up a command center to rescue people who get lost in the desert, or the Rotary Club of Camp Pendleton that's putting up a memorial wall for the thousands that have died in Iraq and Afghanistan, or whether it's the club in La Jolla that's building a school in Afghanistan. It's hard not to be inspired by some of the stuff that we do.
You know, and that's what I was always amazed at by the Rotary Club members, how so involved they were in the community. And I know at the time we were in the club I was in, and also, you know, how they reached out to others with so many different activities. I mean, I can remember at the time we sponsored the local fair. And we did a number of other pageants and shows and things to help the community, raise money for the community, to put back in the community.
Exactly right. Whether it's an Oktoberfest, whether it's Rotary has talent event, whether it's selling tickets for some other event like the Boys and Girls Clubs. Yeah, Rotary is very active in that. And the money that we raise gets spent in our community, but also internationally. Yeah. We're very active in trying to improve water and sanitation around the world. Trying to reduce hunger, improve people's health. I don't know if you know it, but our eradication of polio, we've immunized 2.5 billion, with a B, children in the world. Wow. When you think the world has about 7 billion people living in it, Rotary and its allies have immunized.
And that was a major project for the Rotary, wasn't it?
It still is. We're trying to eradicate it, and we've eradicated it from almost all the parts of the world. We're still working on 2 or 3 countries where it's endemic and kind of hard to remove. But we've been working at it almost 25 years, and we've invested almost $1 billion in that effort, a group of volunteers working to eradicate a disease.
So when you say service to the community and service to people, you really back that up.
Yeah, we are trying to make this world a better place. And we look at our community as the local community, which is first, we live here, we work here, but our community is also the larger community. And we think if people around the world are healthy and doing well, we are spreading peace and goodwill and better understanding. And that's really Rotary's mission.
What does the future look like for Rotary?
I think it's healthy. And it's particularly healthy around the world. We have more clubs than McDonald's has restaurants.
I didn't realize
over 34,
that's a bunch, I'll tell you.
Over 34,000 clubs in a variety of places in 200 different countries and areas. And I think we're going to continue to grow.
That's great. Well, Larry, we're going to be talking more with you in just a few minutes. Okay. So we've got another guest we're going to bring on, and we're going to talk with you toward the end of the program a little bit.
Thank you, Alan.
All right, thank you. Coming up on San Diego People, we'll look at the future of one of San Diego's oldest Rotary clubs. The new president-elect of Club 33 will be joining us. That's coming up next. Stay with us.